How's it going? You good? Happy? Healthy?
Yeah, really good, thank you. Yeah, lovely sunny day today in the UK, so it's been nice.
Yeah, that's a rarity, isn't it? And it's late. It's like what, 7 p.m. over there? 8 p.m.?
Yeah, and it's still so light. The sun is just starting to go down now. Just started, so it still feels like day. It feels like 3 p.m. right now.
What did you do today and to enjoy this your rare sun?
I didn't do anything. I was working today. I had like a Zoom show thing, little like thing I did on Zoom. So I went to London for that, and then I'm just been on a Zoom session.
That's quite a schedule.
Yeah.
Keeping you busy. Keeping you busy. Where are you right now though? Where you're in London or are you back home?
Yeah, so I'm in Canterbury in Kent in London. It's just like, yeah, it's out on the outer skirts, but yeah, like I'm next to a beach and everything. So yeah, nice countryside vibes, beach vibes.
Yeah, Canterbury's right on the edge there. It's kind of southeast. We got like one
Yeah,
step. You got like one leg off the continent.
yeah,
Almost like
exactly.
you're like I'm one leg out of here. Um, I'm in LA. You've been to LA, right? You know all about LA.
Yes, love LA. I am obsessed. Like I signed there with my record company, record label out there in when I was 18. So yeah, I loved it. It was so good. And obviously the pandemic kicked in, so I haven't been there for ages now, but
Yeah.
I can't wait to get back out there once everything's all good.
My God, that flight to LA though, that's a good like 11 hours.
Yeah, it's so long, but I think once I got used to it, I was like, okay, I can do this. But
Did you
yeah,
stay awake? Like what do you do on an 11-hour flight?
I definitely do like because if they have a TV, I'll watch some TV, a lot of films, or I'll sleep. But I really do struggle to sleep on planes. Like I can't do it.
Why? Are you like, paranoid?
I think I just like I think it's people watching me sleep. I think that's what freaks me out. Like just having loads of people around you. I'm just like, but also I'm very like I'm a bit of a light sleeper. So like any sound, I'm like, what's that?
Oh, sure. You're like, wait, yeah. Everybody starts looking at each other. So wait, you
Yeah.
don't want people to watch you sleep. Are you one of these sleepers like this? A drool coming out of your mouth?
Yeah, I don't know. I actually don't know. I'm definitely a sleep talker now and then, that's for sure. So I think I get
Oh.
worried that I'm gonna drift off and start being like, ah, go crazy.
Yes. That's funny. What did you like about LA, or what did you do here? Do you remember anything that you got to do aside from like work stuff?
Yeah, what did I do? Is it Joseph's? No, I don't even know
A
the
restaurant?
Oh no, Jones, that's the one. Not Joseph's.
Hmm.
Jones, the Italian restaurant. I went there. I loved it there.
Oh, so you came from England to America to eat Italian food.
Yeah,
Got it.
exactly.
Aren't
Yeah,
you
I love
closer to
that.
Italy?
Yeah, literally, I loved it there. That was like my favorite restaurant. And then, yeah, just loads. I was in the studio loads. That was what I was doing literally every day while I was there.
Oh
I
my
went to
gosh.
Soho House. I think that's what it's called. Yeah. Um, and yeah, just like I just went to loads of different places. My mum came out to see me for a bit as well while I was out there because I was going there a few times, and she came out to visit me and yeah, and she loved it. And she was like booking all the restaurants and she's like taking me there after my sessions in the evenings. I was like, yeah, love it.
That's great. Yeah,
Yeah, it was so
there's a little bit of everything here restaurant wise, no matter what you're in the mood for. There's
yeah.
so many choices, but hopefully next time you come out you can go to like Disneyland and Universal Studios and all that stuff.
Do that. Yeah, I never did that when I went out there. So I'd love to do that. And I'd love to go to the beach. I never actually went to the beach because I was always so busy. Yeah, I was really like every time I was like, I need to get there. So that's definitely like the first thing I'm gonna do, or one of
Yeah.
the first things that I'll do when I get there.
Put
Um,
that on the list.
exactly.
But you're healthy, happy, eating good. You got a pretty good taking care of yourself, taking vitamins, all that crap.
Yeah, yeah, all good. I mean, it's just been a bit of a crazy time for me at the moment. So I've been eating a lot, and we've just kind of sort of came out of lockdown the last like two months. So when I was in lockdown, I was always like, pasta, another pasta. Let's go. You just like eat and eat. But yeah, now I'm out of it. I think I'm a little bit more like, right, let's get some salad going on in there. Like,
Right.
start to look the part.
Yeah, and that English sweet tooth is no joke because like I said, my dad's from South London, my mom's from Liverpool, so it's
Yeah.
in me as well. And fortunately, there's a place right down the street here in LA called World Market. They carry food from all over the world, so I'm in there getting orange clubs, penguins,
Yeah.
digestives. It's all the British crap that I should not be eating. And oh my
We love
god,
it. Biscuits, just I love Lotus biscuits. They're so good.
oh, I haven't had those.
Yeah, they're so nice. They're like they're not ginger, but they're gingery, but they're like sweet and sugar. Like it's just so nice. And
Wow,
yeah,
okay.
I'm obsessed with biscuits and like crisps. Um, yeah,
Yeah, they have prawn. They have all the Walkers like prawn cocktail crisps and all that stuff.
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And all my American friends are like, prawn cocktail? What are you eating, dude?
We do have some strange like flavors. We really do. Like we chuck it all in.
Yeah, bacon flavor and everything. Um, hey, you're 20, right? Is that right? When's
Yeah,
21? When's your birthday? When is everybody sending you presents?
I'm gonna be 21 end of July. So yeah, it's a big birthday. I'm so excited. Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
20 right now, but I'm kind of worried. Not worried, but like nervous to go into the 21. So I feel like it's gonna hit me like right. I'm actually growing up. Like time is going pretty fast. Like I feel like this year has already gone so fast. I can't believe it's already May. Um, but yeah, I was just like, yeah, I'm just freaking out. I'm very excited because I've got some nice things planned. But yeah, I guess I can go out to LA and obviously everyone can drink at 21 in LA. So, but obviously here it's 18, so it's like,
Yes, nobody
oh,
in LA has ever had a drink before they legally turn 21.
yeah, exactly.
Maybe. How's the first 20 years been though? You pretty happy with it? Because yeah, there's markers, 21, then 25, and then
Yeah.
30. So how's the first marker?
Yeah, really good. I mean, I feel like I think it was 16, and then it was because then 17 is when you get to drive here. So that was like a really exciting thing for me. And then 18 was when I could go out to the clubs with my friends in the UK. So like that was like another big moment. Like, I think that's probably the biggest moment I ever had, to be honest. Because I could actually have my ID and be like, yeah, there it is. Let me in.
And they're like, this is fake for sure.
Yeah, literally.
But
And then now 21, it's like, there are some places in London that you can't be at unless you're 21. So yeah, so not really having any restrictions now, I guess.
And is it a change of like emotionally, or do you start to kind of do inventory on every little aspect now in your life? Because it is not that you're not an adult now, you obviously are, but it's still, like you said, it's different. So do you go through your closet and go, well, a 21-year-old doesn't wear that anymore, or doesn't do this, or
Yeah, I've definitely had a big change. I think when I went into the pandemic, I was just completely different to the way I walked out of it. Like, I think you just grow up a lot because you have the time to really reflect on yourself, and
yeah,
you give yourself the time of day to grow. Because I think when you're so busy every day, you've got so much to do, like you're not really looking after yourself all the time. So yeah, I think before 21, I'm going through this stage now where I want to be really healthy. Like I'm really going through this health kick now. Like the last few days.
like
Not that
yeah,
long.
right. The last 10 minutes. You mean like what does
Yeah,
that entail? Like what does the health kick entail?
just like working out. Trying to get a bit of a sober life going on. I guess. Not drinking as much rosé with my mum as much as I do.
But those bottles are so pretty.
I know, literally, like the rosés. Oh gosh, but yeah, just kind of, just really because I really want to be like the best version of myself when I turn 21. Um, just because I feel like that is a new chapter in itself, and right now with my music, it's all this whole new chapter. So yeah, I just
Yeah.
want to keep up with myself, and be able to like emotionally keep up with it. And so I've been doing a lot of just kind of like meditating and just keeping myself ready and on the go. And
What's
yeah,
the workout? What do you do? Is that like cardio? Or are you doing weights? Is it high
just
intensity
like
stuff?
running loads because I really feel when I run, I have time to think things through as well. So yeah, I love running, and I'm in the countryside anyway, so there's so many gorgeous fields and things to run through. Um,
Are you listening to
yeah,
music when you do that, or podcasts, or?
yeah, loads of music. I just like and I listen to all my songs, and like, I really like go through what I can imagine having out, because like the amount of songs you write within a week, it's really filtering through as a songwriter what's for you and what could be for other people. Like
Mm.
there's so many different opportunities with songs that you've wrote. So yeah, so I think it is that kind of thing of thinking, is this something I'll perform on stage? Is this something I can see myself promoting? Is this me? Or is this something I felt on the day that isn't my brand or my genre or my thing?
Is this a
Um,
feeling I don't want to revisit for the rest of my life? Give it to somebody
exactly, yeah.
else. Yeah.
Like, is this something I don't want the person to hear, but maybe if someone else
Sure.
like it will feel right?
Do you get analytical with it as well? You're like running and you're like, oh, I got to take that piano out, or I got to change that, or drop that sound. Oh gosh,
Yeah, oh,
it's
all the
never
time, and it
ending. What
never ends. Yeah, exactly.
a project is never done. So yeah, running is hard, man. But that's good to kickstart and get the
Yeah.
blood pump. Running sucks. I don't know how you do it.
Oh, I know it does. I think with because now I'm starting shows, so they're always like sing and run and sing at the same time. So that's something that I've been getting into just for like to be able to be fit on stage and move
Oh,
around and get the audience going at the same time as singing. It's kind of just a whole
I didn't even
whole
think about
workout in
that.
itself.
Yeah, I didn't even think about that. That's a great idea. Oh my gosh. How's your parent? What do your parents think of all this? I saw your dad. I saw the video of your dad and you in the car listening to the song for the first time. Your dad, who's all dressed up, smart, looking put together and stuff. But your parents seem to be all for everything that's going on with you.
Yeah, they're incredible. They really are so supportive, and I think, they've always kind of let me do my thing. There was never any pressure to do what I'm doing. I know, I've got loads of artists that are friends. I know there's so many stories, different stories of the way parents are, but yeah, my mum and dad are just so like, yeah, do your thing, and then they're just so now it's like it's all, there's certain things that are happening. They're just so excited, and they kind of think, wow, because I have done it off my own back, and it all has been very like, I moved away at 16 up to Brighton to go do music school, and I moved away from them and everything. And I think there was a lot of backlash through, other family members in a way, because it kind of, they were a bit like, you can't let her go at 16, she's too young. And my mum and dad were just like, well, she really wants to do this, we can't stop her. So they've always just been so supportive from the get-go.
Good for them for
Yeah.
doing that.
Yeah, and they have to put their, because it's like, you've got your aunties, your uncles, and everything, and everyone cares about you. But at the end of the day, your mum and dad just need, they're the ones that need to decide what's best for you. I'm just really grateful that they let me do that, because I know that it's quite hard to let your children fly the nest at such a young age.
I would
Um,
imagine so. I would imagine my mom did a very similar thing. It was just kind of like, just go on, go look around, go see what's out there. And I'm like, Mom, I'm 12. Okay, I wasn't
yeah,
quite 12, but it's still what a feeling. And you know what? I think it almost feels like that getting that trust from the parents almost helps you stay on the right path, if that makes sense.
100%. Yeah, and I think as well you have trust. Like you can really, they believe in you, and you can tell them anything now. Like I feel that the fact they put their trust into me and let me go and be in this big city of Brighton on my own, and I was living with a host family as well at that point, so I was with a completely different family. They kind of were just looking after me. Um and yeah, and it was just, for them to be able to let me go, I was like, do you know what? That's, I really can trust them. And if I ever have any problems, I know they're there. Um, but yeah, I think it was just, and then from there, that's how it all just kind of started for me, because I was standing outside studios trying to meet producers. Like I was just on grind mode 24/7. Like, how can I get no, like, how can someone find me so I can, start putting out records, and how can I make this work?
And Brighton seems to be a good place to go for this. A handful of artists I've talked to. God, Passenger. I just talked to the singer Passenger in Brighton recently.
Oh,
And
amazing.
yeah, he was saying how great. And I got it confused with New Brighton, which is a place I used to hang out as a little kid, which is way up north, I think.
Yeah,
But yeah, Brighton seemed like it really offered a lot for artists. Um,
yeah,
he
yeah. It's
liked it out
definitely,
there.
yeah, it's very creative, and you could just do whatever you like. You're kind of free to. do whatever you like, and you can be, be yourself, and it's really lovely for that. But yeah, I think for me, it all started from Brighton, then obviously slowly moved over to London, and then from there to LA. So it kind of, I think it all just kind of connects in like a bit of a triangle.
Yeah,
Then it goes
right.
to Sweden.
And that was a long time ago. That's 5 years now. How
Yeah.
close were you to quitting? Because
Oh, yeah.
yeah, because in music business, I mean, that's probably not very long, but for the normal everyday job, that's a long time to transition. So how
Yeah.
close were you to quitting, and what are the other what were the other options?
Yeah, so yeah, well that is a pretty big part of my story, if I'm honest. Like, because I started off and it was great, because you're learning about the industry. So the first 2 years, so 16 to 18 was like the time before I was signed. So I signed 18, but like those 2 years before were just like, you know, developing and getting ready for those stages. And that was just great because you really don't really think of anyone else in the industry. There's no comparisons made at that point. It's very just you finding your feet. Um, but yeah, then I think the tough part for me was definitely once I'd signed, there was pressures, there's other artists, all these newbies kind of thing. And it's quite easy to just kind of feel, you just kind of compare yourself, and you kind of think, am I actually good enough? You're now fully in it. You now get the industry. You've learned all that you've learned. Obviously there's so much more to learn, but you're at a point where you kind of understand how it works. And I think that's when it kicks in and you just freak out. And I really did freak out, like end of 2019. I was just a mess, literally. I was just struggling to really find where I wanted to go. And my sound has always been very emotional and powerful, and I've always just wanted to sing, really sing to people and get wanted people to like feel that goosebumps effect. But around that time I just felt like that music wasn't there was just something that was stopping that from working with me. And I hadn't released, so I just started releasing last year April, so there was nothing really to go off on, I guess, for other people, to be, because you want to be in sessions with everyone, don't you, at the end of the day?
Sure.
Like I just got very like obsessed with being like, oh, I want to get in with that person and that person because it's your passion. So I think it's really hard to sometimes find to kind of find that balance between your passion and then your need for something. Like you have to kind of find the balance between being happy in your own life as well as trying to really, get this dream that you want.
The dream and the
um
reality. Yeah. Oh man,
yeah,
what an emotional roller
roller
coaster. Oh
coaster.
my gosh. And
Yeah.
speaking of you're saying that there's other artists and stuff like that. And I know there's a lot of them that you look up to, like the Adeles and the
Oh, amazing. Yeah.
right. So with there being so many artists that might be doing similar to what you're doing, how do you it's kind of a two-part thing. First of all, how do you find your own lane
Yeah.
in amongst all that traffic, and not to think of it as traffic as a negative, because everybody seems to be helping each other and being a part of each other's career,
Yeah.
but also when you do look up to artists like that, how close can you get? How do I word this? Because there's a danger to looking up to certain people, because you almost start to mimic what they're doing. How
Yeah.
do you kind of go, okay, that's that, let me pull this back a little bit and find my own feet, like you said, and find my own lane through all this?
Yeah, so I really just took it as like there was always, right, Mimi, what's your sound? What's
Yeah.
going to be the first
That's a much
five?
quicker way of asking that question.
Yeah. And it was like, oh, yeah, exactly. It was like always that. And I was always like, the question I could never answer. I could never answer it because it would change every week. Different thing, because you write one, you feel that way one week, you might feel the next like that. You might want to write something a bit more sassy. Um, and then maybe, I did feel that I was being pushed a little bit not to my sound. Sometimes there was a few times where it was like, oh, but this is what's working for people right now, so why don't you do that? And
Mm.
it was a bit like, well, that's not why I want to be an artist, and that's not why I'm in this room, being a songwriter and a singer. So being able to divide and get all those opinions, being able to like kind of step away from all that was the big move. And yeah, I think for me it was just very like I just took it day by day. I turned around and I just said, look, I know what my sound is. No one does at the moment, but I know in myself. So let's get this first song out because this one really feels like this is perfect to who I am. Let's then do the second, see where we're at. Let's then do the third, and then let's do the fourth. And I feel like for me right now, with the way it's gone, is that whole process has worked really nicely because there was no pressure. It was very like Mimi's developing. She's just started out releasing. And, we're in the middle of a pandemic as well. So it was kind of a bit like, right, these are the songs we've got. Let's get it out.
These
So,
are my songs today. This is how I feel today.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think that is how I've kind of found a sort of lane where, a lot of my songs, I've also put a certain production genre and vibe into it where it's just really kind of, it can make it happy as well. Like with the drums, and there's a few things that are going on where it's not just like a piano and it's like
Yeah, yeah.
super sad. Like it's a very heartbreaking, like heart wrenching, lyrically, melodically, it's got that power in the emotional power, but there's a way that I am going to perform it on stage and the way I put the production into the songs where it's kind of creating that modern twist on it as well. So I think that was like slowly learned throughout the process of releasing. I definitely would have never been able to know or tell that that's what I was going to do beforehand.
Yeah.
So I
How are
think that
you
was
knowing all of this? Because that seems
yeah,
like you're knowing, you have quite an awareness of that whole, let's be present in how my sound and my feelings are right now.
yeah.
How, like, who are you talking to? Because you're a soloist and you're not in a group where you're all kind of traveling through this together. So who do you talk to, or do you have that person where you can lean on and say, hey, this is what I'm going through, this is how I'm feeling? And is it other artists even?
So I got to a stage where I was like, you're getting compared because that is just the industry. That's what happens.
Sure.
And it's not intentionally. It just pops up when you're in the studio, things in your studio, things like that. Things get said, and I got to a point where I was like, do you know what? I just want to meet I want to meet other artists because you don't know each other. All you have of each other is on Instagram. And when I say artists, I don't mean the ones, that are smashing it because they're like my idols. For me, they're just untouchable. They're just incredible. Like,
Sure.
but when it's like new artists, you're all in the same kind of pack, you're all trying to get going to get at the same time. And I just really felt like I just really wanted to get to know some art, meet new artists and just really like speak to them because no one will ever know how it is, without being going through it. So I ended up meeting a bunch of new people, and I'd get DMs from new artists through my releases. They'd be like, "Oh, I love your song," and
Oh,
then that's
good.
how you become friends. So I have a bunch of friends now where I can just go to them, and it just feels nice because you feel you're in a support bubble, and
Yeah.
no matter what is said in the industry, you all support one another. And I think when you get to that stage of comfort and happiness within knowing that you've all got each other's back, that is when you can really like thrive because I feel like there's nothing then stopping you because you feel
Yeah.
support.
That's
And
really,
yeah,
because, yeah, and you can ask them, what, how are you feeling? What are you going through this? What did you do about
yeah,
that? There's a
exactly.
handful of other artists overseas there that I've talked to recently, like artists like Banners, who's really starting to take off over here in the States with his song.
Oh,
Tom Grennan, Zach Abel, and all
yeah,
these young guys
yeah,
who yeah, it's a lot. That's
yeah,
heavy.
it is. Yeah, and I think it is just like it's believing in yourself completely because there was a point where I could have gone, oh, my this is you can be unhappy at a certain point, but that is the drive that I liked. I was like, when there's a challenge, I realized I liked that because
Mm.
that is how I wrote my music. So then that is how I kind of moved through it and got through it, is because I'm a songwriter as well. So I'm able to put that into my music. And I think, having other songwriters and collaborating with fellow songwriters is another way of moving through it and getting through that stage. Because I do think I've heard, all my friends, all my art friends that are artists, they've all been through it as well. So
Mm.
I think when I then found out that it wasn't just me, you're just a bit, you don't feel so alone. And I think having fellow songwriters as well who write music and are very like intact with like in touch with their feelings, it really helps to do that. But yeah, I
Yeah,
just
because
think the
it's such a fragile time, not only in a career but also in life, because there's also this kind of, for lack of a better term, kind of a changing of the guard with friends as well. As friends start to go
yeah,
off to this, and then now
yeah,
you're kind of going, well, crap, here I am alone in this whole new. Oh, that's a lot.
exactly.
Wow. Well, good
Yeah.
for you for keeping this head on at least, and
Yeah.
not going too
Too
crazy.
crazy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's definitely a process, but it's just it was so when I just took it by the horns, and I just said to myself, that's the saying. And I was like, right, I'm just not gonna let this isn't gonna be something that's gonna, put me down, take me down. This is something that I'm gonna put into a positive. And I think, you overthink. I'm a bit of an overthinker as it is anyway. So you start to overthink it, it all starts to, grow inside you, and then you actually look at it and you're like, oh, like it's not too bad.
Right.
So yeah, it's definitely that. And I think when I signed at 18, I was out in LA and I was walking around LA with my shades, and I was like, oh, this is the life. And then it kicks in and it's like, right, you need to write the records, like you need to get a body of work out. There's all these different things. And I think at that point, all my friends in the UK were at university. So they're all loving life, out, drinking till 5 a.m., all this kind of stuff. And my life was just very like, right, this is your dream. This is what you've put your whole life into. Like, you've moved, you've done all these
Yeah.
things. Like, this is it. It's game time.
You've got your
And
dream, but there's also got to be a little FOMO as well.
yeah, yeah,
Oh
exactly. You'd
God.
be like, oh, I could do with being down at the pub today.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
But it's fine because if you passionate, you thrive, you're driven, you just go. And I'm just so lucky. My team, I love them. They're incredible, and they're all like
Yeah.
my family. So being able to have them there as well to, keep me company, and it's all we have such a laugh. So it
Good.
keeps you going.
Good. Well, I don't want to keep you. I don't want to keep you any longer because I want you to go enjoy the sun. I can see the reflection of it back there, and I want you to go play with the dog and get outside and enjoy. Is that your dog, by the way, or is that the family dog? Whose dog was that on your Instagram story earlier?
Oh yeah, that's my dog. That's my family dog. Yeah,
Yeah.
so that's our family. Me and my mum, my dad, and my brother. Yeah, she's an absolute angel.
What's her
She's
name?
a little bear.
Bear. She's so not a bear. She
Yeah, I know.
this is the smallest dog with the biggest name. That's funny.
Yeah,
Um,
she's so sweet.
well, I don't want to keep you, but when tell me this then. So for those in Los Angeles, when we play Good Without, for all of Los Angeles to hear, in Orange County in Southern California, and whoever might be listening on the iHeart app and all that, and they're hearing
Yeah.
it for the first time, I'm trying to make you nervous.
Yeah, then I was thinking, what's he gonna say?
Yeah, no. What is it that they should listen for as they press play? Not only in the message, but also, is there anything like in the production that you're like, oh, I really hope they notice that 8 count or 16 count or this little fill or transition I did.
I'd love for people just to really to let the O's after the chorus sink in, the part where it goes huge, and yeah, so just yeah, the O's. I think that's the part because I really wanted to create a song where it's a heartbreak song and it's emotional, but there's that kind of evolution as the O's kick in just after I've said I'm so good without, and it's just
Mm,
this whole like it's all lifting off of you, and I just really want people to let that sink in and to get the feeling off of that. But yeah, I just really wanted to make it really powerful and like a massive impact when it hits there.
good. Okay. So pressing
It's a
play on the
big
songs
trust, it
then.
works.
Yeah, right. All right. Good. So and as far as the message, what else should they pay attention to? Like literally getting ready to press play on it for everyone to hear it. Last minute words on that song.
um I think definitely the I'm so good without, the part where, you know, you're coming out of it now. You've realized what you've needed to realize for a long time. So yeah, that part.